Picture this. It's October 2025, and the world's fastest growing religion, Islam, clocking in at a cool 2.05 billion devotees, 24.1% of humanity, and still packing the house like a sold-out Hajj after party, is suddenly getting the cold shoulder harder than your Tinder match after you mention your cat's name Jihad. Mosques being flipped into co-working spaces for crypto caliphs. The Quran remixed into a lo-fi beats playlist titled Chill Surahs for your existential crisis. And the ummah? It's splintering faster than a group chat after Eid dinner arguments. Welcome to Death of Nations, the channel where we dissect dying dynasties with a scalpel sharpened by sarcasm and stats. We're the morticians of history, embalming empires so you don't have to. If the fall of Rome was a tragedy, we're the sequel with memes. Today, we're remixing the fever dream. Islam is about to be erased from the map? Is it divine comedy or geopolitical catastrophe? Spoiler, both with extra tahini. Hit subscribe if you're ready to chuckle through the apocalypse. And trust me, by the end, you'll be Googling how to build a bunker in Mecca. Let's dive in before the map gets redacted. The demographic dominoes. Booming numbers, busting narratives. Let's start with a stat that slaps. Islam's not just growing. It's exploding like a viral fatwa on steroids. As of right now, October 12th, 2025, the global Muslim count hits 2.05 billion. That's 24.1% of the planet, up from 1.8 billion a decade ago, thanks to a fertility frenzy averaging 2.9 kids per woman versus the world's puny 2.4. Indonesia, solo act with 245 million faithful, outnumbering the entire EU's collective eye roll at non-halal charcuterie boards. Africa, the real growth hack. Sub-Saharan rates at 2.9% annually, adding 347 million new Muslims since 2015, more than all other faiths combined. By 2030, Pew's crystal ball says 2.2 billion. By 2050, 2.8 billion, snagging 30% of the world pie and potentially leapfrogging Christianity like a holy high jump. So erased? Please. It's like calling Bitcoin a fad during a bull run. But here's the hilarious hitch. Growth's a double-edged scimitar. Sure, babies are popping like popcorn at a Sufi whirling dervish party. But hold the applause. Fertility's flipping the script in the heartlands. Iran's down to 1.7 kids per woman. Sub-replacement territory, the demographic equivalent of a bad sequel nobody asked for. Turkey? 1.6. With Erdogan's baby bonuses flopping harder than a fish on a prayer rug. Egypt's clinging to 2.9, but urbanization's the urban legend killer. Cram families into Cairo's concrete jungles, and suddenly blessed with Baraka means blessed with a two-bedroom walk-up. Why the baby bust? Blame the millennials or their Muslim equivalents, who trade minivans for matcha lattes and maternity wards for maternity, leave debates on LinkedIn. And migration? Oh! The irony's thicker than Labna. Millions bolt from Syria's rubble. 6.8 million refugees as of 2025. And Afghanistan's Taliban tantrums. Washing up in godless Europe, where the Eiffel Tower is more iconic than the minaret. France? 10% Muslim. But assimilation's a comedy roast. Kids grow up chanting liberté, égalité, fraternité over falafel, forgetting Fatiha. In Germany, 5.5 million Turks turned Germans poll 40% religions optional. Like adding olives to pizza, nice but not essential. The kicker? Even in the homeland, remittances dry up as diasporas dilute the devotion. A Jordanian expat in Dubai sends dirhams but skips salat. Cultural jet lag at its finest. Zoom in on the youthquake. 60% of MENA under 30, per UN stats, raised on iPads, not imams. In Pakistan, 25% growth via conversions in Illinois alone, but back home, Karachi kid site, 2 broke for Baraka as the new excuse for skipping Jummah. Projections? If trends hold, that 35% surge by 2050 could fizzle to 25% if secular seeds sprout. Hilarious visual. A fertility graph nosediving with sad emoji overlays. Babies turning into Bitcoin charts. Serious? Without a baby boom reboot, the map's green blob shrink like a deflating whoopee cushion. But wait, Africa's the wild card. Nigeria's 100 million Muslims growing at 2.9%, outpacing the world. Yet, Boko Haram's Western education's forbidden clashes with Lagos lads coding app for A's and alarms. The dominoes? Teetering. Stay locked in. Next, the secular serpent slithers in. The secular sneak attack. When Allahu Akbar meets YWLO and loses. Secularization. The polite term for faith's midlife crisis. It's not a Western whisper. It's a homegrown hurricane, brewing in the backrooms of every bazaar from Baku to Bandung. As of 2025, a bombshell nature paper maps it in 3 acts. First, rituals fade like forgotten passwords. Second, religion's important becomes kinda on holidays. Third, boom, you're sipping single malt Suna free. In Muslim-majority spots, it's stalling at Act 2, but the curtain's creaking. Iran? Secularization's poster child. Official stats lie, but underground polls show 70% of youth under 40 eyeing the no-religion exit, up 20% since the 2022 protests. Why? Masa Amini's ghost. That hijab spark ignited a secular wildfire, with women burning chatters like bad ex's letters. Turkey's no saint either. Erdogan's pious generation push? Backfiring like a faulty iftar cannon. 2025 surveys peg knowns at 10%, with Istanbul millennials calling faith cultural, not core. Code for I fast with family group chat. Indonesia, the ummah's megachurch? 30% of under 30 say religion's optional. Blending batik with Buddhism light. The punchline, a Beirut fatwa squad versus Fortnite. Looting haram. Kids clap back. But building a sunnah? Pew's 2025 drop. Participation dipping 15% across the Arab world. Importance sliding 20%. Education's the enabler. More PhDs, less piety. In the UAE, women with degrees outnumber men 2:1. And they're swapping niqabs for negotiations. Saudi's MBS. Vision 2030 secular speedrun. Women driving. Concerts cranking. Holy site swap for holograms. 40% youth poll male in mosque, up from 20% in 2015. Hilarious? Roller coasters over relics. Thrill your way to Jannah. Serious? If rituals rust, the map's just geography porn. Apostasy's the end credits. Global rates low, but exploding underground. Iran? 13% ex-Muslims per secret surveys, hiding like contraband vodka. Pakistan? Blasphemy laws backfire, breeding quiet quits. International Apostasy Day 2025? Ex-Muslims rally online, from Tehran tunnels to Toronto basements. The fatwa? Death to defectors. But who enforces when enforcers are eyeing Netflix? Secularism's slow burn, but geopolitics is the gasoline. Don't bail now. The Taliban's got turbans and tantrums waiting. Geopolitical Jenga. Allies as alibis, enemies as echo chambers. Geopolitics 2025. Islam's Jenga Tower, where every pull's a prayer for stability. Iran's the wobbly base. Axis of resistance, my foot. Its axis of IOUs, with proxies like Hezbollah gasping in Lebanon. Sanctions start. 2025 UN report calls it on life support. Houthis? Red Sea randos rebranded eco-pirates, but Yemen's famine's the real fatwa. 21 million hungry, per IRC's 2025 watch list. Mullahs cling, but home revolts rage. Masa's legacy. 70% use secular lean, per underground polls. DNI's threat assessment? Iran a headache. Drones buzzing like bad karma. Saudi's a sly sibling. MBS's Vegas veils. Abraham Accords 2.0 with Israel, while Wahhabi exports boomerang as Bali blasts. Vision 2030? Malls over minarets, concerts cranking. 40% youth religion optional. Sunni Shia Cold War thaws? Nah, it's a truce with teeth. Riyadh eyes Tehran nukes like a bad neighbor feud. Afghanistan's a clown car. Taliban 3.0. Back since 2021. Cracking down harder than a bad audit. Women park banned. Economy toilet bound. ISK popping off like fireworks at a funeral. Gulf's wary. Saudi engages but frets reputational ricochet. Russia recognizes them. Pragmatism over piety. But Kabul's Bitcoin beg scream, emirate of embarrassment. Pakistan? Nuke-armed nightmare, Imran jailed. Floods erasing villages like divine deletes. 33 million displaced in 2022. Climate sequel in 2025. Syria? Assad's toupee cling. HTS Al-Qaeda light, playing moderate. Yemen, Gaza, Uyghurs. Internal knives sharper than infidels. Political Islam? Precarious, per 2025 experts. One tweet from oblivion. The gag? Threats from within. Taliban affiliates like Al-Qaeda lurking. If bombs don't break it, bites will. Digital dooms next. Cultural code red. Youth quitting quieter than a whispered duet. Culture's a quiet killer. Islam soul, now sideswiped by Spotify and skepticism. Youth apostasy? Not fireworks. It's fizzling. 13% in Iran per 2025 shadows. Hidden like contraband coal. Global rates low. But MENA unknowns hit 15% by 2030 projections. Per Pew, up from 5% in 2010. Why? Education's the exit ramp. PhD gals in UAE 2:1 over guys, ditching dogma for data. Pakistan's blasphemy boomerang breeds quiet quits. Egypt's TikTok sheiks dance dawah, but kids go for games. International Apostasy Day 2025, rallies from Tehran to Toronto. Ex-Muslims toasting freedom from fatwas. Fatwas flop. Pokemon ROM? Kids, evolve or perish. Iran bans Barbie. Bootlegs BTS. Apostasy sin supreme, but enforcement a joke when enforcers envy the escape. Culture crumbles, but clicks conquer. Digital's the next domino. Digital jihad or jaded scroll. Social media's sneaky sermon. The net's the new mosque. For billion Muslims online 2025, Dawah dropping like beats, but doubts the remix. Malaysia's halal hustlers outshine sheiks. Modest drops making burkas athleisure. Turkey Netflix. Sultans as cameos in The Crown. Ramadan 2025. Digital iftars, TikTok tearaway. 83% Scottish Muslims say social lamps Islamophobia, but 70% youth use it for spiritual but chill. Dawah's double-edged. Apps Azer mine, but algorithms amplify apostasy chats. UAE youth. 25% spiritual not strict. Fortnite fatwas flop. WWE's Sunnah. By 2030, AI fatwas. Halal by bot. Bites bite, but bites from the sky. Climate's the final fatwa. Global gallery. Complicit in the cartoon. Climate as a closer. West diversity bombs Baghdad. China camps 1M Uyghurs in Mandarin madrasas. Russia raises Grozny. India erases Moguls. Biden hashtag free Palestine, while arming. Europe burqa bans pork free. Climate? Deserts devour, Nile dries. 100M, displaced by 2050. Faith fleeing floods. Afghanistan droughts, Yemen famine. IRC's 2025 list. Top crises in Sudan, Syria, Muslim hotspots. Islamic relief? Zakat for zeros. But migration's modern slavery, per UNGA. Arab world's crossroads, water wars, health horrors. The gag? We're all extras in the erasure epic. The reckoning, remix or requiem. Islam's VFXING, 2.1 be by 2025 end, 26.4% world, but secular stall at Act 2. Threats, IS 2025 global ghost, Taliban tantrums. Resilient? Survive Mongols. Memes next. Erased? Only if jokes win. Fight with facts. Thanks for the binge on Death of Nations. Like if laughing saves souls. Subscribe for Hindu Nami. Comment. Saved or sunk.